Hello, everyone. It's William here at Allegory Gallery. Thank you, thank you, thank you for hanging out with me today. I see Kimberly is here. Anna is here. Hello, hello, everyone. If you're out there, please say hi. Please hit the share. Please hit the love. Hit the like. Hit the thumbs up. Do all that good stuff for us. And keep commenting, because the comments are what make the algorithms know we are live and that it should show it to other people, because people are engaged, so they hope other people stay engaged as well. Happy Monday, right? It is Monday. It is Monday. It is a strange day for me. I feel like I'm doing so many different things today. My day started taking out the cats. We went outside this morning and kind of walked around, and I took everybody out one at a time at first, then two at a time, and then for the first time ever, all 5 cats were outside together. The girls are getting really good about kind of knowing where to go. It's also really warm out, so they're not really running around or doing too much. They're kind of laying on the sidewalks and kind of sunning a little bit, and sometimes laying in the shade. So I took them out individually to get them a little bit used to everything, and walked around, and then everybody came out. The boys came out, the girls came out. The boys helped watch the girls for me. Gilbert stayed with a few of them, and Barnaby stayed with a few of them. It was really cute. And so we did that, and that was nice. That was a good day. We came back in, and it tuckered them all out. They were all sleeping. Then later this afternoon, while I worked on a blog post. I have not done a What's Happening at Allegory Gallery blog post in about a little over 2 weeks. I've been trying to do them weekly, but I did not get one done last week. And so I'm kind of a week behind. So I did a blog post. I've just been so busy with Andrew gone, but I took the time to do that because I don't want to get out of the habit of doing that too much. I start a lot of things and don't always follow through, and I'm trying really hard to be better about all of that in a lot of places. So I did that. I took pictures of Andrew's squonks. So the Squonk Festival, or Squonkapalooza it's called. The squonk is a cryptid that is based in Pennsylvania. So it's a cryptid here in Pennsylvania, and it is supposedly so ugly that it continuously cries about itself, which is really, really sad. But Andrew, before he left for Maine originally, and we showed some of these on the show and offered them all to you first. You're the only people who got offered these. The rest of them are going directly to the store for this weekend. They were not selling them online first. We're not letting people reserve them. They are being sold only in store. Hopefully it will entice people to come up this weekend. So I wanted to have some available for people if they did come up. And then, so I took pictures of the squonks. There are 2 different kinds of aliens. I don't think we even ever showed you all the second kind of alien. I think we showed you the ones with the big green eyes, but he also made little grays with black eyes. So those are available, or will be available this weekend. And then also the gargoyles. So I took pictures of all of those, and I made a reel about those, and posted stories and posted posts everywhere all around to start letting people know, because we are not actually going to be down at the Squonkapalooza. We were not able to get in as a vendor this year. They filled up too quickly. And it looks like no one bowed out, because they were going to let us know if we could join if they had any vendors that bowed out or couldn't make it. So far we have not been able to get a vendor spot. So we are trying to let people know early this week, and throughout the whole week I'm going to be showing kind of cryptid things that people can come up and get from us. So we hope that it'll expand our reach a little bit and get people to come up to the store in Johnstown this weekend. So I did that. I had to order some more mugs because I'm going to make some cryptid mugs. Andrew's Bigfoot and the jackalope, and I think there's another one. I feel like there's another one that I'm going to make for that, and I'm going to make some tote bags for that. I haven't gotten started on the making of all that yet, but I'm getting things mentally organized for that. And then I'm making plans tomorrow. I don't know how long it's going to take. Tomorrow I have to be down at Touchstone since Andrew's away, and I'm the fill-in. So Andrew is working with his group that he's part of, Spark, which is a BIPOC maker group, and they are hosting a show in, I think it's September. I want to say September, early September, down at Touchstone. And it is a BIPOC only event for only BIPOC metal makers. So I can't actually go to the event, but they are opening an exhibition on that day. And I am going down to help some of the people in the group set up the exhibition. I have no idea what it's going to be about. I have no idea how I'm going to be of help. I have no idea how long it's going to take. But I am going down tomorrow to figure all that out. So I will be away most of the day tomorrow. I don't know what's going to happen to the live. I don't know when I'll be back. I don't know what's going on. So we'll see. I'm excited, and also the anxious part of me is very anxious because I have no idea what's going to happen and how I'm going to be able to help or what's going to do. But I've set up shows before here for Allegory Gallery. Ours are mostly hanging art shows. This is going to be in the Touchstone gallery. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on. Let me catch up with some comments here. Kimberly says, I am walking to the mailbox. Nice. Who is right? Says Anna, exhausted from my workday. Oh boy. Yeah, it's been a long day. Kitties outside, I bet they love that. They did. They loved it. Hello, Norma. Thanks for joining us. Hope you got good mail. Kimberly says Anna, right? Hope so. I got bills today, which I did not like. That was my mail day. I was like, this is a sucky mail day. That was my mail day. Let's see here. Anna says, that's the best part of taking kitties or kids out. They get tired out, right? It was so cute. Ida Bell was running around the yard chasing the little flies, like not flies, but little gnats in the yard. So she was running around, like jumping here and there and there and there and chasing those around. Gertie was very timid. Gertie either has allergies right now or a cold. I don't know which. Her ears aren't hot. She doesn't have a fever, but she's sneezing a lot. She's seeming congested. But it might be allergies because I've been taking her out. So she might be actually suffering from outdoor allergies. I don't know. But she still wants to go out. And so I'm trying to see, I don't know if it's allergies or if it's a cold. And so I don't know. I have some, I guess quercetin is a natural antihistamine that is also safe for cats. So I'm going to probably start putting that in some of their food. I used to put it in for Barnaby more often when he was dealing with worse asthma in case he had allergies. And so I might start putting it in to see if it helps her. But she's just been sneezing lately. It's really cute, and it's not affecting her. She's eating. She's still very... she was running around chasing flies today in the house. So we had a fly in the house. So she was running around doing that. But she's sneezing a lot. So She was a little bit more low key while she was outside. She's also just a little bit more, there were more noises happening outside today, and she's a little bit more cautious. And Tallulah, she was just a little bit wild today, but not as bad as she has been. She's calmed me down, which is really good. So it was nice to have them out, but they did get tuckered out. All the girls went out at least 2 different times. And then when they all came out together with each other. So they were out longer than they normally are. So we had a good time today. Angela's here. Hello, Angela. Thanks for joining us. Anna says, that's really great of you to help out, William. Yeah, I'm trying, Andrew asked me if I would and kind of volunteered me. And then he's like, you're going to help out at Touchstone. I'm like, oh, all right, sure, that's fine. He knows I don't have a problem with that. So I'm going to be going down there tomorrow. And like I said, I have to be there, I think, at 11. So I have to leave early for me to get down there. It's about an hour to an hour and a half drive, depending on traffic. So I have to get up early for me and leave early for me. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know how long I'll be there. I don't expect it to last all day, but then I don't know how many pieces are in the exhibition. I don't know what kind of staging we're going to be working with or have to work with or do. So find out. But I do have somebody there who is in the group who kind of has a better idea, and they are driving over from Baltimore, so they really have to leave early. That's about a 3 or 4 hour drive that they're coming over to do the setup for that. So I'm thankful for them. And then I guess a few people are going to get on video conference with us and kind of work on it too that way. So we'll see. Kimberly says, I got some packages and bills. Bills are terrible. Anna says, so much excitement when a fly is in the house. Yes, and for some reason today, I had like 2 or 3 flies in the house. It's probably from opening the door so much and letting the cats in and out, because sometimes they don't come out, very fast, or they're very cautious, especially Gilbert. And putting the girls in, sometimes they push the door open. So we had like 2 or 3 flies flying around in the house all day. And so they were running around, and that also tuckered them out. But then they also found more came out just as I was leaving later in the day. And so to come up here, and they were all over, they were jumping around on things. They were on the counters where they're never supposed to be, up on the stove where they're not supposed to be. We never allow them up on there because in case it's hot, we don't want them getting used to jumping up there. But yeah, they were bug hunters today, and Idabelle caught one, so that was good. She's a killer. She's a little killer. She'll catch them, kill them, and eat them. So she got rid of one. She took care of one at least. Teresa's here. Hello, Teresa. Thank you for joining us. Vicky says, listening while I drive home. Thank you for listening, Vicky. So I have really random things today. I don't know how this show's going to go because these are really random. But I've got some like sari silk, I've got some felt, I've got some shell, I've got some seed beads, I've got things just that we don't always show very often. I've got some Chinese ceramic, I've got some gemstone strands, I've got some Czech glass. I don't actually know how many lots I have, but I do think I have enough at least to get through the 30 or 40 lots today. So this is going to be wildly random. It's not a lot of like gemstones or glass beads other than the seed beads. We don't normally do seed beads, but I have seed beads today. They're vintage seed beads generally. So just different things. Hello, Susan. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, so I don't know how it's going to go. I don't know what y'all are going to think of it. But I said that it was going to be really random, and it is really random. So we'll get started with that here shortly. Hello, Amanda. Thank you for joining us. But how's everyone else's day? Anna, you said your work day was exhausting. How is it? How, other than exhausting? Why was it exhausting? Not to call you, I'm calling you out, but not to call you out. You don't have to answer. But anybody else? How was your day? What's going on? How was your weekend? I didn't even talk about our weekend. Our weekend was very, very busy. Andrew drove home Friday morning. It took him all day. It literally took him about 18 hours to get home from Maine. He left at about 6 in the morning and he got home a little after midnight. So he encountered about 6 different accidents along the way and got stuck in traffic for those 6 different accidents. So it took him a long time to get home. He was completely exhausted. I had made some food. I was talking on the live about making some food. And he was not even hungry. He had eaten a lot of candy and stuff along the trip to keep himself sugared awake. And so he actually, he tried to stay up because he was trying to spend time with me, but we ended up going to bed pretty early, trying to get him some rest. And he passed out, I think, hard. He slept through the night, which is odd for him. And we got up on Saturday, and I did some things on Saturday. I took pictures. I think that was when I did it. I took pictures of the protective heart pendants / ornaments, and I added those to the online store. Kind of did things from home. I had those in the office, so I took pictures of those, posted about them, sent out reels about them, added them to the online store, sent out emails, and pushed that out. So those are in the online store if you missed any of those. As you may have noticed, the prices, as we often say, did go up. So if you got them on the live, you got a very good deal on them. But the prices did go up once they go into the online store. Sometimes we offer you really kind of exclusive pricing like that, and we did. So those are in the online store now. If you want to purchase any more, they are available just at that higher price. And we do hope people love them. I think it's really good. And then we kind of took it a little bit easy. If by easy you mean doing lots of laundry for him to get going and repacking him to get going and making dinner, that kind of easy. But we did actually spend the day together, which was nice. And I thought maybe we'd come to the cottage here and work on those pendants or something, but it was just best for him to stay home. And so he stayed home with me, and we sat with the cats a lot, and he got to pet on the cats, and they were giving him lots of love. And so we got him, then I got the laundry done for him, and he took a little bit of a nap at night and then got up and started really packing the rest of his stuff up. And he left at, I think, around 9 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So he was only home from a little after midnight, really Saturday morning, until about 9 o'clock on Sunday. And then he drove off again. And the drive was a little bit longer than expected, heading back down to Poquoson down in North Carolina. I say back down because he's been in North Carolina a lot this year. So he took the trip down, and I haven't actually heard much, to be 100% honest. I know he has a bunk bed. I know that he was unable to do his Duolingo last night because his roommates went to bed much earlier than he expected, so he couldn't do his Duolingo. But that is about as much as I know right now. So that's what's going on. And he is down there. Today is his first day of full classes. But as soon as he got down there, they put him to work. I think he's doing dishes again down there like he did at I just blanked the other place. One of the other schools, the big name school down there, the really big name school. Um, yeah, wow. Anyway, all I've got is Pocosin. I think the other one starts with a P too, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, yeah, so he's doing dishes for work study. So he's doing dishes and trying to take classes all at the same time. Let's see here. Anybody else join us here? Amanda says it's an emotional day for me. Middle child received residence assignment today, so it's starting to hit me. Oh boy. What is residence assignment? Is that something something up there? Something up in Canada? What's residence assignment? Or is it something for kids that I just don't know? Or is that going away to school? Is that what that means? Dorm assignments, Kimberly. Okay, that makes sense. I was just trying to think, what is that? Yeah, I'd never had that because I never lived in the dorm. I always had private housing. I didn't get into the dorms when I was in college for my first 2 years, and then I just stayed out of the dorms. Well, I didn't get in the first year, and then I kept going with the same place that I had for the first 2, and then I moved up to the other campus, and I honestly don't know if they actually have dorms at the main campus. That's weird how I don't know that. But I always had housing somewhere else. So I don't actually, think of that. Let's see. Kimberly says her son moves on August 11th, coming up, huh? Anna says, oh, I wrote a reply about work and lost internet. Oh well, hope tomorrow is better. Okay. Work and lost internet. Yikes. Someone else had internet issues today. I saw on Facebook. Can't remember who that was. Yeah, so that was our weekend. It was really a blur. On Sunday, I went up to the store. So after he left, I laid back down and tried to rest for a little bit more because I was up and down throughout the night because he was. He doesn't always say goodbye before he leaves. And I'm one of those people, like, I like to say the goodbye before somebody leaves. Like if I say goodbye before I fall asleep, I kind of expect to be woken up before you leave. And so I know that you're hitting the road, right? It's just the way I am. I don't know. My mom is like that. Always been like that. And so he doesn't always do that though. He'll say goodnight like before I go to bed at night and expect that's good enough. He's just going to disappear in the morning. And I'm just like, so I was kind of up here and there throughout the night, kind of checking the time to see, because I knew he wanted to leave around 7 or 7:30. But I didn't know if he had gotten all fully packed or if he was going to need some help. And he was still doing a few things around until about 9 when he left. So, yeah. But that was, I went to work, went to the store. I had one of the neighborhood kids, young kid, really young kid, but loves to come into the store and look at things. And he's very cute. Loves to look at things, loves to play around, loves to pretend things are like, we have little masks and statues, loves to pretend they're biting him. It's that kind of thing. But he came in and he was picking out beads, and I told him, I says, you need to pay for the beads if you want to make something. And so he went home and he got some money from his dad, and he came in and he made a bracelet with me, which was super cute. And of course I threw in some extras so that his totals worked out to what what he had available. And we had a good time. And then our friend Katie came in. I don't know if you saw, I shared a reel that Katie made. And she very nicely did a really wonderful reel for us, kind of doing a little advertisement for us. We had a good talk together. And she has a lot of changes going on in her life, and she has a store downtown, and she's working on some things. So it was really nice to catch up with her. Our little young friend was in there as well, came back when she was there, so she got to meet him too, and just kind of hung out and yeah, had a good time. So that was nice. And so it was a good day in the store. As far as people wise, business wise, it was a little bit slower, but I appreciate everyone who does come in, including the young kids who come in with their little spending money that they've got. It's always good to, get people in and get people interested in making stuff. Anna says it's been weird all day. Luckily, our internet's been okay. Knock on wood. I'm going to knock on wood right now. Mary Jane's here. Hello, Mary Jane. Thank you for joining us. Amanda says, my first lived in the dorm for the first year. For the second year was a resident advisor, and is home now for the summer and fall term, and will move back in the Dom position in January. Nice. Everybody's saying hi to everybody. Susie's joined us. Hello, Susie. Thank you for joining us. And, oops, scrolling. I think I'm down here. Susie says, I'm a complete introvert. I wouldn't be a good candidate for dorm life. Yeah, I wasn't sure. I kind of was sad that I didn't get into the dorms because that meant, we had to find another place. And that was anxiety ridden for me. I kind of just wanted it to be taken care of. And get assigned a place and just, not have to deal with anything else. But it kind of worked out because the place I ended up staying was with a woman in her house. Super, super sweet. Her name was Mrs. Simendinger. And she had a large dog named Baron von Simendinger. And she was super nice. It was a great 2 years that I got to spend with her. She actually, my grandmother helped us find the place and helped me afford rent for the place while I was there. And she and Mrs. Simendinger got along very well, and they would write letters back and forth to each other. So it worked out really well. I had a room there. We had use of the kitchen in her house, and it was kind of like a family thing. At one point, there were 3 or 4 people that she had staying in the house with her. Her husband had passed, and I think this is, how she, paid some of the bills, and also just had company. She had people around all the time. And so I think at one point we had 3 other people, including me, but it was mostly, I think, 2 other people, including me, most of the time. Norma says, me too, Susan. I hated the dorm, also hated the apartment with 3 roommates second year. I ended up transferring schools and living at home. Wow. Hey, Susie. Good to see you here. Thank you for joining us. Sorry, I'm checking my, something popped up. But yeah, it's been really good. Yeah, it's been pretty good. I liked, and like going back to the college thing, I liked living outside of the dorms in the end. Now, at one point we rented, once I moved up to the other campus, the larger campus, I started at a smaller campus, and then I moved up to the larger one for my major. And I roomed with some people I had met, good friends of mine, made good friends in college. And I will say that it's very hard sometimes to room with friends. It does affect the friendship sometimes, or just, how close you are. And things come up. Sometimes it's hard. And I mean, some people might have a really good time and it might be great. But I will say that it became harder sometimes, and it did test friendships. So those weren't as easy of times, but I still had really good times with people, and we still had a good time together, I think. Let's see. Amanda says, my kids are introverts too. Eldest is very serious and wants to get good grades. The second. Mary Jane says, I sent a claim, but I guess it's sold because I didn't get an invoice. Not necessarily, because I have not been, I still have some claims in my email from possibly over the weekend, mostly because we were getting Andrew together. And then when I was in the store on Sunday, I had people in, and I have not gotten to them. So it is very possible. I'm trying to see here if I have, I have one for you from yesterday that I did not check yet. So it's very possible it's still available, but I haven't checked. Susan's going to be back in a bit. Alrighty. Yeah, so that is that. I had a good time in college. I liked living outside of the dorms. I had friends who were in the dorms and dorm life. Once I realized what dorm life was, I was kind of glad I didn't get into dorms after all. I think I did miss out on a part of college life by not being in the dorms. I think there is a part of that I missed out on. Because I think that's a whole part of the experience. Because once once I would like hang out with people in the dorms, like you had to check in, you had to get us, like you had to be let in and all, like just the whole thing. And then you were in these little rooms with people. I think there is a part of it I missed out on, but I'm okay with that. I am very much okay with missing out on some of that stuff because I had a fairly nice, I had a bedroom, and it was a full size. My desk fit in there. I didn't have like a mini desk. I had a pretty big desk in there. It was an old, that was when the computers were big. It had the tower and the big CRT monitors and landline phone. We had a phone installed for me, and because while I did have a cell phone, they were expensive back then, so had a landline put in, and had the stereo. I had my stereo, which was a 3 CD disc changer. It came out in a tray, and it had 3 CDs, and it was like this big, and it had the big speakers. And I pity my roommates and the landlord. She never said anything. No one ever said anything in that house, but maybe they were night owls too, and I just didn't realize it. But I probably played the music too loud in the middle of the night. Looking back on it, I'm kind of embarrassed by it. But when you're in college and you're a kid, you just don't, you don't think about it. You think, I mean, they were in college too, so there were nights when they were louder too. But yeah. And maybe it wasn't as loud as I thought too, because I did try. I wasn't a rude kid generally, so. But the desk was big. It had to fit all that stuff in. It had it closed shut, so it had wings that opened on it. And there was a bed, and there was a mirror, and there was a little closet and a dresser. I think 2 dressers. So I had a nice sized room. I mean, it was probably 10 by 10 or 12 by 12, something like that, which is like, I feel like the dorm rooms were like half that size. They had tiny little desks, and they had bunk beds, and I did have to share the bathroom with everyone in the house, except the landlady. She had her own downstairs, but that was not that bad at all, compared to sharing dorm life. What I would assume would be a little bit hectic. Although I am very much a night person, so I don't know how hectic it would have been. And I didn't have many morning classes or anything like that because I did not pick many morning classes. I had like maybe 3 morning classes my entire 5 years in college. Everything else was at least started around 11, I think, which is my time. Amanda said the eldest school is very serious about grades, and the campus is quiet. The second daughter school is a mix, can be wild. I did dorm for first 2 years and then moved off campus. Too many fights and door slamming for me. Terry says, I lived at my grandparents' house first year and then had an apartment with the second. Sue said, LOL, I had a big Pioneer stereo with gigantic speakers and a 12-disc CD changer. Yeah, my grandparents made sure that I had things that I needed, wanted, for school. And so, the desk, I think they helped purchase. The radio I had had for a number of years. And I think that was a Christmas gift one year that I had gotten. And it might have actually been, I don't know if it was my first CD player. I think my first CD player was a 1-disc player. And then I graduated up to a 3-disc player. But that's all I ever had. That was the most I ever had, with 3 discs. And mainly, the majority of the time, I would say, I'm trying to think of the name of the albums, but Alanis Morissette was in there. The big one from the 90s, Jagged Little Pill. And then Ophelia or Tiger Lily by Natalie Merchant, and Something by Cher. Those were generally, and I also, Dave Matthews Band, Something These Crowded Streets, that Dave Matthews Band CD. Those are a lot of the CD. Those were like on repeat for a lot of that time that I was in that apartment. Yeah. Kimberly says, yeah, no morning classes, they stink. Yeah, I had psychology was a class I took as an elective class that I took for a morning class. I had to fit it in. I think I had psychology. That was very early. And I can't remember. I think I had one more, at least, morning class at one point. I was thinking my public speaking class was, but I think that was actually very late, because I would go back and sometimes take a nap. And I think that made it feel like a morning class because I had to get back up and go out. But I think that was actually a late night class. But yeah, I didn't have many morning classes. I remember psychology being a morning class. Yeah. And I don't know why I remember that. But I remember that. Yeah. Let's see, just to be clear, I wasn't fighting with anyone, but some girls got really mad at each other and slammed doors. Yeah. That kind of drama would be a lot for me. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at that kind of emotion flying around all over the place. Norma says, yes, too much noise and door slamming. Oops. Whoa. And people were talking behind each other's back whenever you left a room. I heard that happened a lot too. My friends who were in the dorm often said things like that. Like, they would often have problems with, like, sometimes their roommates in the dorm were like their best buds, and sometimes they were just like, we're fighting today. Like, it was just like, it just made everything, it felt like it was just like sometimes simmering and sometimes just boiling over in there. Teresa says, during my master's degree, I was living again with my grandparents. I hated having roommates. Yeah. Brooke says, except for Cher, I still think I have all of those. No Cher? I still do have all of those. I still listen to all of them very often, actually. I love Ophelia, the album Ophelia, and Tiger Lily by Natalie Merchant. They're my two favorite Natalie Merchant albums. And her, at least her by herself, I will say, by herself. Those are my two favorites. I feel like the stuff that came out afterwards was a little bit too, I don't know, calm. Some of it just wasn't the same. I'm a 80s, 90s baby. I like that kind of music. That Dave Matthews Band, The Dreaming Tree is one of my all-time favorite songs, I think, talking about kind of loss and all of that. So that was an album that I played a lot and still do listen to often. Yeah. And then of course Cher. I listen to Cher a lot. Um, I haven't put on a lot of Cher recently. I don't know why, um, but used to be. I've been to more Cher concerts than any other concerts. I don't know. I've seen Cher maybe three times, which for me is a lot because I don't do concerts. I'm not really a big concert person. Um, so, um, yeah. Let's see here. Man, 30 girls on one floor with 4 showers, probably not a good plan. I'm still best friends with a couple girls from my floor. We stuck together and stayed out of the drama. Nice. Um, Brooks says the math building never had functioning AC, so morning calculus for me. Oh, yeah, I guess you have to do that. Um, I actually got out of all maths in college. I shouldn't say that. I did take statistics, which did not count for my basic math, strangely enough, I guess. I tested in, and I used to be really good in math in school, and then I kind of gave up. And for the last year of high school, I think I still took calculus. I think that was that year, but it was like first semester. And then the next semester, I didn't take any maths. I switched to I switched to English, and I got really involved in English. Um, and I didn't even finish. I didn't do well. I mean, I passed calculus because it was pass fail, because it was for college credit, so they did pass fail. But I kind of just gave up on math because I got really interested. I'd been taking Spanish for 4 years at that point in school, but I just really switched. Like something in my brain went off. I said I don't want to do math anymore. I had a really good English teacher. I think that's what helped. And I just really fell in love with writing, and I was in creative writing classes, and I filled my time with that. And so by the time college rolled around and I took my SATs and all that, I was not great at math anymore. And I had forgotten a lot of it. And so um, I tested where I needed to take not a high level, but not a low level math either in college. And I was supposed to take one. And I got through 5 years of college never taking a math. And I was talking to my French advisor, and I told her, I said, I have been out of math for 5 years. I said, if I try to take this math class that they want me in because where I tested into, I said, it's not going to be a good thing. So she actually, I had gone, she had sent me, the way I got to visit France was that I lived with her in-laws for part of a summer. And that was a extracurricular class. And they replaced my math class with that. And I don't know how she pulled that, but she pulled it off, and I didn't have to take math in college, which was delightful, delightful. And so, yeah, sometimes my mom always says things work out for us, and that's one of those examples of things working out, because I don't know how I would have taken a math after 5 years of never touching a math book or anything math related, because I'd been studying Spanish, French, German, and Japanese mostly up to that point, and taking classes about those countries and their literature and spiritualism. Like I took classes in Taoism and Buddhism, and so there was no math going on. Suzanne is here. Hello, Suzanne. Thank you for joining. Let's see here. Brooks says Tori Amos was a favorite of mine in college. Tori Amos was a favorite of Andrew's at that time too. Andrew apparently loved her, and I think he won some kind of award or won a trip to her concert, or I think he wrote. She did it at some point. I think it was through her. I can't remember. We'll have to ask him when he comes back. But he wrote a short story about something about the importance of an artist, or seeing an artist, or seeing her. I don't know what it was, but I think he got like front row tickets or something because of it. And I don't know if he had a meet and greet. I can't remember. I was never really a Tori Amos fan. And I say that, I know there's probably a lot of you might be, I don't know, but I say that never having really listened to much of her music. I just was not in a group where we listened to Tori Amos. None of my friends really did that I was aware of. None of them introduced me to her. Um, I didn't really know much about her until later in life, actually. So um, I was never really a big fan. I never have, even still to this day, gotten much into her music. Um, but Andrew was very much. He was a big Tori Amos fan. Hello, Nancy. Thanks for joining. Kimberly says, I took like 4 math classes, and when I transferred, was told I didn't have to take any more. So I was thankful for that. Yeah, I had taken a lot of math in school, and I loved math for a long time. I thought I was going to be an engineer, an architect or an engineer. That's what I really thought I was going to go into for a very long time. And I think I did that because I did like math. I liked more abstract maths. Um, you know, dealing with infinite numbers and all that, all that kind of stuff. We just had a math class called Advanced Math 3 or something like that in high school, and that's what it was. It was kind of the weird math, and I didn't like things like, I hated geometry. I skipped trig. I skipped trigonometry, I think, and went to calculus. But yeah, I ended up, I think I did it because I had this idea in my head that to have a good paying job was the most important thing. And so I grew up, because we didn't grow up with a lot of money. So I decided, well, I like math kind of, so an engineer makes a lot of money. I also loved languages, but I never thought, about the kind of money you could or couldn't make with them. They were kind of something I assumed you didn't make money with. And so, yeah, until the last year in high school. And then I was like, you know what? I really came out of my shell the last year in high school. I became very much more who I was. The walls that I had built for the vitiligo I was going through and being gay, and I still didn't come out, but I didn't try to hide as much away. And so when that happened, math also kind of fell away because it was something that felt like a part of that old me. And so, yeah, I was thankful not to have to do math in college. Brooke says, I love reading, but I'm a pretty inept writer, so I was glad to get enough AP credit to skip English 101. That's nice. I loved writing. I took extra writing classes in college just because when I had a space to fill in, I did a lot of that. I took a lot of stuff in college just because I wanted to. And I did have a heavy course load. I had a very heavy course load every single semester. And so I packed it full completely all the time, as much as I could. And, even when I didn't have to, I still did. So I threw in things like creative writing or writing poetry or things like that, because I enjoy writing. I don't write much anymore. The things I write are my, personal feelings on things and things for the store when I write long posts. But I really do enjoy writing, and I do miss it sometimes, and I wish I could get back into more creative writing. But I used to like poetry a lot. I used to write a lot. I don't know how good it was, but it was good for me. I wrote poetry in my journal a lot, and I took poetry classes and things, and I really did enjoy that. I was never really I was a short story maybe person. I did like writing short stories, but never long, never novels, never. I thought about writing a book at one point, but it would have to be a book of short stories or poetry because I never have had that attention span. Reading is hard for me, and that was hard being a language major. Reading was a lot of, it took a lot out of me to read because I did most of my reading very last minute. And thankfully, I was very good at kind of understanding what my professors would want, and I would kind of focus on that. And I did pretty well studying that way. Rather than always reading entire novels, I would kind of skim sometimes, or focus more on what the professors were talking about, and I was able to get through a lot that way. So, for better or worse, but you make do with what you've got. Brooke says, I think you might like her later stuff as it's a bit more chill. I'd recommend Scarlet's Walk. I'll have to maybe take a look at that. Because I know some of her earlier stuff was a little bit, I've heard it from Andrew, and it's a little bit, I don't know. I don't want to say rough, but it's angsty, which that can be good too. So, I don't know. Teresa says, I love writing. One of my short stories was picked to be published in Good Housekeeping magazines. That's awesome. I didn't know that. See, learning things about each other again. I always like learning things about you all. So yeah, anyway, I don't know how we got into college, talking about, kids going away to college. That's how. And I riff off of that. But let's get this started, because what time? Oh my goodness, it's almost 8:30. How did that happen? I feel like, wow. Okay. Yeah, let's get this started, because I have to get home and get to bed a little bit earlier tonight, because I've got to be up early to go help set up that show at Touchstone tomorrow. All right. Like I said, today's very random. I hope you enjoy. Let's flip the camera around and see if you enjoy the randomness that I've created for you all. It is going to be a different show, I think, but fun. I hope you enjoy it. I sure hope so. Hopefully make a little bit tonight. But I won't be surprised if not a ton sells, because it is different from our normal. I'm going to start with some felt. Oh, I didn't even do... let's do RRW. Really Random with William. I doubt I've ever used that before. Let's do these at $2 each. And I have multiple lots of these available. I'm not going to count them. These are pieces of high quality German felt. They're very thick. They're about 5 millimeters. These are about 38 millimeters wide. And they are really nice pieces of felt. We get these, like I said, they're from Germany. This is not a cheap date, which is why, I know you can buy felt pieces for less. But these are really nice, and they do hold up. They're very substantial. So what I was showing you, you're like, what do I do with this, William? Well, you can use a thing like a crocodile. If you know what a crocodile is, do y'all have a crocodile? This is a crocodile. And we have given out links for this. If you need a link for this, I can post one later. That'll help us if you buy it from our link too. But these are crocodiles, and they allow you to put these little rivets through those. So you can create, it's really simple. Here, I'll show you. Why don't I show you? I don't know if I think I've shown this before, but it's been a long time since I have. So with the crocodile, you get these little rivets. You didn't know you were getting a tutorial too. Quick one anyway. And so we have this, and the crocodile has hole punches, which can also punch through some metal. I think we used it to punch holes in copper during one of Andrew's classes. So there's a smaller one on this side and a larger one on this side. So I'm going to, first I'm going to move the camera up a little bit because I'm getting a little bit tight in here. So we're going to take this and we're going to slide this in here a little bit. I'm going to try and get it around the point where that other one was. I'm just going to eyeball it and we're going to punch that out. And it punches a hole right through. And take that out. They are wool felt, Vicky. Yes, they are wool. And then you take one of these that you get with your Crop-A-Dow, or you can buy extras, of course, and you put it in there. And you take the little top point, and this has various sizes, so you can do the smaller rivets or the larger. I'm doing the larger ones right now, and you put that in there, and you smush down. And that's all there is to it. So then you can turn these into things like earrings. You could make chain with them, do one on each side. You could make these into pendants, and you could do dangles from them if you wanted to. But super easy, super cool. I'm selling you the ones that don't have any holes, so you can do what you want. They are $2 each. And they are RRW1. All right. Move this back down a little bit. Let's see here. Who's asking? Suzanne says, general question, why do some people look down on pewter? I know it's not silver or gold. Yeah, I think a lot of that comes more from a time when pewter had lead and cadmium in it. And so that's what I always kind of suspect. Some people still believe it has lead, and most pewter now does not. So I think people think it's kind of either dangerous or used to be dangerous. But, right now, I would have to say that through our selling, most people don't really have an issue with it. Most of the people that we talk to and deal with, even in the store, when I tell people that's not sterling or that's not silver, that's not gold, they generally don't have a problem. There are some people that, only deal with, the higher end things. And that's their preference, I guess, quote unquote higher end. I mean, some of it is more, hypoallergenic. It does have stuff like that, or qualities like that. But yeah, I think it's, I would have to say I think things are changing on that. We don't really get a lot of pushback. Or, we used to get kind of sometimes that disgusted face whenever we'd say that it was pewter. Like literally people's faces would change. But it's not been that way lately. RRW2 is the German wool felt. And it's a very thick wool felting. Very thick. Very, it's stiff. It's not super pliable. Which is good because that means it's a very tightly woven or napped, I don't know what they call it, wool. So these are $1.50 each. Vicky says, I love my Crop-A-Dial. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It really is pretty cool. I like it a lot. I know I don't use it to the best of its ability. I know there's more things that it can do. But for me, I use it for what I use it for. But yeah, I use it mostly for this and some metal work for the most part. Anna loves the green color. I love that green color too. All right. I'm going to show you. I have a few more of these I'm going to show you. I don't know if people are liking these. So far, no buyers on these. So I'm not going to spend too much time on them if people don't want them, because I have a lot of other things that I can show you today. I have this one. This is a gray one. I do only have 4 of these. I know that. And I'm going to put this at $2.50 each on that one. And I have a bunch of this one. I have a good quantity on this one. There's probably 10 or 12 of this one. So if you want multiples, they are available. This one I only have 4 of. It's this nice gray color. It's just a little bit darker than this one. And this would be good nice for a pendant, or like really long earrings, because they're like barely there. They're very, very, very light. So you don't really have to worry about weight at all with these, which is kind of nice. They're also great. You can layer things in front of them or behind them. So if you had a big piece of shell, like we have some of those really large lily-pilly shells, you could put this in front of it, or you could dangle gold or silver charms in front of it, right? All different things. All right. Let's see. Let me check my email here. Let me go into junk, because I have not checked my junk all weekend. So let's do that first, to make sure nobody's coming in to junk. And let's see here. Okay, let me see. I don't know if that's real or not. I have to check that out later. But nobody looks like they're going into junk, so that's good. Okay. All right, I'm going to put these back. Doesn't look like anybody's too interested in these, so I'm going to. I know they are a little bit more expensive, and that's, just because of where we got them. They were imported. We imported them from Germany. I know there are other places where I know you can get felt for less. I don't know if it's the same quality or not, but sometimes what you use the felt for may not need that kind of quality. But, anyway. They would be cool in mobiles, says Anna. Yes, they would. Yes, they would. Hello, Sandra. Thank you for joining us today. Sweet Pea gemstones. RRW4. All right, so we'll move away from the felt for a little bit. I do have, just so you know, like if you're interested, I have long pieces in reds. I have rounds in green. I have rounds in deeper reds. I have lots of little ovals in red. I have these in blue. These are really cool. These would be great for earrings, I think. Like, I think pairing some of these, you could do some really retro things. Oh, now I got some requests for them. I got some of these in black rounds. If you'd like me to give any of these numbers, let me know, and I can for you. I've got some more orangey kind of browns. I've got some little grays. I've got some ovally reds like that. So we've got a bunch of different ones. I just don't want to bore you all. Let me give these ones, since somebody is claiming some, just in case you're interested in these, because I think these could be really fun. So I have multiple lots available of these too. got a good bit of those. There's probably at least like 20 of those available. So there's that one. And why don't I pick? Let me do 2 more, just in case, because I think they're cool. And you know, I actually thought about creating a line of stuff from them. Yeah, these are a little bit bigger. Creating a line of jewelry, earrings and stuff using these. And I still might. They kind of got put away. I showed them once on a live, and they kind of got put away and forgotten about. And when I was looking for really random stuff today, they popped up. So I said, hey, why don't we do these one more time? And then if they don't, I'm probably going to get that Crop-A-Dile cropping and put it to work and make some earrings, because I think these could be really fun and, you know, not expensive, not to make super expensive earrings, but just something fun and cool for, you know, I feel like in the winter when you're wearing your big wool coats and things like that, and, you know, you go places, you don't always take off your big wool coat. You don't. I think these could be really cool matching kind of earrings like that. Anna says, I really like them, and I cannot bite off a new project anytime soon. I get it. Sandra says, I just sent off my cost proposal for the custom ruby necklace. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Sandra says, I saw Really Random with William. I was like, this will be good. Hopefully. It's random. It certainly is random. Brooke says, could be useful for embroidery. You could glue or sew it down and stitch it over for a 3D effect. Yes, you could really do that. I think Andrew has sewn into these beads at various points in time. So you can sew beads onto them or through them and use them as a base layer too. So if you wanted to embroider beads around them, or I don't know if embroider is the right word, but if you wanted to sew beads on, you could do that too. So don't think of them just necessarily as them by themselves. I think of them by themselves more because I don't do that. And I'm not going to do that. I can almost 100% guarantee you I'm not going to be sewing beads onto anything. But you can, because you all are very creative like that. And a lot of you have more patience than me. So we're going to have a lot of different seed beads coming up in this show too. And you might really like that. As Vicky said, add sequins and hand embroidery. We have some really lovely vintage sequins in our online store for cheap. So they would be kind of really cool adding the vintage sequins onto there. Somebody just sent an email for these that just has RRW ×2. So please check your sent email. I don't know which RRW you want. All right, so now that I've done that, I'm going to put these away. See, I showed more of those than I thought I was going to, but that's okay. I have a bunch more I could show, but I think we'll stop there for now. And one of these days, I'm probably just going to sit with my Crop-A-Dile when I'm at the store and I don't have as much to do, and just start making some cool earrings and who knows what with those. All right, so that's that. I found these shell strands. These are mini cowrie shells. They are double strands of mini cowrie shells. This is going to be RRW7. And they are $30 a strand. I have 2 of them. I think, let's see here. Yeah, so they are 12, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. About 28 inches, 28, close to 30-inch strands. They're marked as 30, but they are double strands, mini cowrie shells, RRW7, $30 a strand, 2 of them available. I had someone requesting some shells at one point, and I don't know if they're watching, but I started to, while I was pulling things for this show, I started to think about shells for them, and that's where these came from. Sometimes the really random comes from requests. Let's do a good price on these. RRW8. Let's just do $5. And I have about 5. I don't know if I have a full 5 or not. But this is a bag of mini shells. And you get a full bag full of them. It's a really nice mix of all different kinds of shells. So this is just some of the example. We have a large bunch of it, and we'll be dividing it out. There's some really pretty shells in there, and you get a little bag. Only $5 for a full bag. And, you know, we fill them pretty good. RRW8. Like I said, I don't know how this show's going to do because it is very random. But sometimes in the random stuff, you find cool stuff that you didn't think about, and you know, things to use that you didn't think about how to use before. Okay. I do hope I don't get into too much trouble. It's like when you start out that way, right? I also hope I pulled enough stuff because we'll see. Because I kind of cut myself short on the felt, but we'll see how it goes. I pulled some seed beads, and this. Cut this open. I'm going to sell the seed beads by the hank. I'm going to give you really good prices on it. I think, anyway. These are 6.0. This is a dark amethyst, silver lined, 6.0. You get the whole hank. Look at that color. And the hank has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strands. 6 strands, and the strands are approximately, I don't know, about 20 inches, 18, 19 inches, something like that. They are Preciosa. These ones are Preciosa from the Czech Republic. I don't know that these are vintage. I don't know that we're into the vintage yet. I don't know when these were from. But I'm going to do them for $8 for the whole hank. Burke says, love that purple. Isn't it pretty? Suzanne says, sea beads remind me of Mardi Gras Indians. I don't know anything about that. We've sold one of the 8s. Thank you. Somebody wanted a bag of shells. Thank you so much. Okay, so that was that one. There's only one of that RRW9. So I've only got one. Once that Hank is gone, it's gone. RRW10. Let me see what else I've got here. And it says great price on those. Yeah, I think we're just doing great prices, y'all. We got good deals on them, so I'm going to pass along good deals. If these go into our online store, I always say if they go into our online store, you know the price goes up. We don't generally sell it by the hank, or if it goes into the physical store, they get sold by the strand instead. I've got 2 of these. We're going to do $9. The hand bead, the outfits worn on Mardi Gras Day. Oh boy. Oh, I think I saw part of that. Okay, these are RRW10. And these ones are 6 O's again. Silver lined amethyst. But these ones are they? Anyway, let me show you. There they are. You get 6 strands of the silver lined amethyst, 6 O's in that bright purple color. RRW10, $9 for the hank. Keep these in order so I get them right in the back in the right bags that have the right names, so I know what they are for later. I really need to experience a Mardi Gras, Suzanne, so that I understand sometimes more of what you're all talking about. I feel like. Plus, I think it would just be fun. I know it's not always fun for you, because you've got to deal with it every year. It's kind of like, for us up here, Fort Ligonier Days, it's fun for everybody who comes, but for the people in the town who live here, it is a big change for the weekend. It does not make it easy. Did I just lose that paper? RRW. Okay, let me remake that because I did just lose that paper somewhere. RRW7, 30, and 2. Well, there it is. I put it in there already. Wow. Some days, y'all. Some days. Some days I'm together. Some days I'm not. No bites on the seed beads. Wow. Thought those were really good pricing. RRW11. These are still sealed up. I gotta cut open the bag. These are an amethyst AD 6O Preciosa check glass seed beads, RRW11, and we will do these. These ones can also be 8. Get all 6 strands for $8. Beautiful. RRW11. Okay, I'm going to put 8 away. Those are the shells. If you want a random bag of shell, $5 only, RRW8. We sold 1, we still have about 4 of those left. silver. RRW8, I'm sorry, RRW9, 10, and 11 are the Preciosa 6O. Amethyst silver lined, dark amethyst silver lined, light amethyst silver lined, and the amethyst AB. Next up, we have light amethyst silver lined. RRW12. We're going to do these at 8, and I have 3 hanks of these. RRW12 are these ones. Light amethyst, not as light as this amethyst. It's a lighter color. This is the dark amethyst. And, oh, RRW9 has sold. Thank you so much. That's that dark amethyst. Appreciate that. All right. Moving these down. Moving these down. Moving these down. I think I've got one more. RRW13. Yes, so we got one more of these. And these are just amethyst silver line. I got 5 of these. $8 and got 5. Sandra asks, how's everyone feeling about this heat wave? We actually had a nicer day today. I did not have as much heat here as we've been having. It was actually a pretty pleasant day outside today. And I think it's because I don't know what the temperature was, but the humidity was down. Yeah, I guess we went up to almost 90 today, but the temperature felt lower because there was no humidity. It was so nice. This is the regular amethyst. So here's the regular with the light, which there is a slight difference. RRW 13, $8, 5 of those available. There, you can see the difference if I just set it down better. Regular amethyst, light amethyst, the dark amethyst has sold. Thank you, thank you. Suzanne says too hot here. Sanders says 97 here. Whew. I know when Andrew was driving down, all the way down, he had a heat warning advisory for they actually put the heat warning advisory on the road trip instructions, you know, like the mapping. It actually literally said heat advisory on the maps, which struck me as odd. I didn't know they did that, but I guess it's bad enough that they are worried about people driving and getting stuck in the heat or overheating, having people be careful with the weather. My friend said it was 101 in Colorado. That seems hot for Colorado. Norma says, Sandra, I'm over it. And there are 2 more bad days coming. It's miserable to go anywhere without my car AC working, but I have appointments. Oh. Okay, so there are those. All right, now I'm going to drop it down, drop it like it's hot, down to 10-0 seed beads. Now, these are the vintage ones. And I do not know I think they are vintage Czech, but I'm not 100% sure, to be completely honest with you. But they came from generally a Czech vintage vendor. So I'm going to say they are. Before I price these, let me see how many. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. About 11 strands. That seems weird. 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because there's 12. 12 of them. I'm going to do these for, what the heck, let's do them for 8 as well. And I hope Andrew doesn't get mad at me, because I took these, and he's never shown these before. So we'll see. We'll see what he says if he finds out. You know, when he's going to find out is whenever he goes to look for them next and they're not there. But I didn't take them from the wall. So as long as I don't take them from the wall, I should be safe, right? Should be. Sanders says, I heard next week is over 100 in the middle of the U.S. And this is the heat wave is horrendous. I'm just glad I'm glad it's not been too bad today. I don't know what the next few days are going to bring us. But for me, it was nice today. These are Tenno seed beads, and you get 12 strands on the hank. And they are this, who knows what color, because they're not labeled per color. But look how beautiful they are. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? I'm trying to get the weather, and it's making me watch an ad. We're going to be 90 and 92 the next 2 days, which isn't too bad. 70 at night. And then we're dropping to the 70s, high 70s, and 60s and 50s at night. That's going to be lovely as long as it's not too... and it's going to stay around the 80s to 60s, 60s to 80s for the next, like, 2 weeks, it looks like. That's pretty good. I'm okay with that. I'm sorry y'all are having... If it stays like that, it should be fairly decent here. My screen just shifted colors. There we go. Norma says, we were supposed to cool to the mid-80s starting Thursday. Thank goodness for at least 6 days. Yeah, ours is starting Thursday too to like the high 70s and in the 60s and 50s at night. That just seems strange, but that's also, let me check to make sure. Yeah, it's going to be about the same. Sometimes I'm closer to the mountain over here, and I get the weather from the mountain, which literally is sometimes like 5 to 10 degrees cooler going through the mountain than the regular temperatures around here. But I switched to Ligonier, and it did up them a little bit, but not by much. I'm going to say hooray for that. Hearing what some of y'all are going through, we're going to be going through. Sorry. Suzanne says the city has 24-hour cooling stations. Wow. I would not want to, at one point we thought about living in North Carolina. Andrew and I, we had discussed it. We had started looking at pricing and stuff down there. It was way too expensive for us where we wanted to be. But I am glad in a lot of ways that we never were able to do that, because it's a little bit much for me. I do not work well or deal well with the heat at all. And I'm not afraid to admit it. Because the heat and I do not get along. think I only have one hank of this one. I have two, but I think one of these is just a half a hank. Half a hank. It's a shame too, because this is a really, really pretty color. These are kind of like coming up with Mardi Gras colors, I think. RW15 8. Oops, let me move these down. RRW12 still available. We still have 5 of the RRW13s. And RRW14. We don't have any of our seed beaters here, it looks like, huh? Our seed beaters. These have been things people have been asking for us to show, because they're not the ones behind me, but they are the ones behind me. They come from the same company, and we've never shown these before. These are RRW15, 10-0 vintage seed beads. You get the whole hank, $8. Beautiful, beautiful metallic seed beads. So these, I thought these were really pretty together. They blend well with each other. Oh, and this one I think I have 4 of these, and this one I just have 1. Oh boy. Well. Oh, good. One came out. There we go. Just trying to come loose. One of these has tied up all of the others into. There we go. There we go. Okay. I've got a lot of these. I didn't know that. Okay. I've got 7 of these. Norma says, I heard a thing on the radio that we are naturally wired to be happier and more productive in the summer, and I thought, speak for yourself, buddy. I'm just miserable, sluggish, and fuzzy brain. Me too. Me too, Norma. I do not deal well in the heat. Next up are these beautiful blue seed beads. These metallic, beautiful, beautiful seed beads. Get the whole hank of them. There are 7 hanks. I got a lot of these. $8 each per hank. $8 per hank. Oh, we sold the 115. So thank you so much. That's going back. Appreciate that. That one is sold out. Somebody liked the green. Somebody liked that green. All right, let's move this over. RW17. Okay. Let me see here. I've got kind of 2 different colors on this one. I'm just going to do the one. I'm just going for that one. How many of those do I have? He says, they're a little large for me, LOL. I mostly use 11 and 15. Oh boy, I thought 10. I thought doing the spread between 6 and 10 would give people a good spread. I don't think, I'm going to say, I think the majority of our vintage that we have, I'm just looking here. Oh, we do have some 11s, but they're on the wall and I'm not allowed to take those. These are more 10s. RRW17. 10s in pink. Pretty in pink. Vintage seed beads. I think they're vintage check. Vintage check seed beads. RRW17. These were Preciosa, the larger ones, the 6Os. Okay, let me remove this one. This is RRW12, $8 only. RRW13 are these ones. The amethyst, silver lined, 6Os. $8 a hank only. Just sold one of the 17s. Thank you so much. I'm gonna need more room on my table with all these big bags I've been pulling out. Normally I have little bags full of just little things. I got whole hanks full of stuff. Okay, so those are those. And then one more. Or is that the same? Let me see. Those are very similar, so I'm not going to do that. Too similar to mess around with those. Okay, so those are the seed beads I think that I'm going to do for tonight. Oh wait, what is this? Oh, I have a blue. Let's do the blue. Who doesn't want the blue? It's a deeper blue. Deeper blue? Yeah, deeper blue. It's more like a tealy blue. Got two of these. RRW 18. $8. Two of those. I hope the price is good on these. I don't know seed beads that well, so I don't know if anyone else is out there selling these and if they have the same ones or what the pricing is. Just kind of going with some of the other stuff we've done before. But here we have this color blue. And just to show you compared to this one. And RRW18, this is really pretty. It's kind of like a peacock blue, peacock beads. You get the whole hank of those. 10Os for $8. Stay on there. You kind of want to try to fall off the table. Try not to fall off the end over here. Okay. Now, I don't know if anyone is going to want these. I think they're cool. I don't even know what to price them. I'm going to price them at $6. I have a few of each. I didn't count how many. I have a drawer full of stuff. RRW19 are these wooden beads in yellow. You get the whole bag. The whole bag of these. They're wooden beads. They're all different sizes. And I don't know if anyone wants those or not, but there they are. We've never offered those before. So there they are. We just sold one of the 18s. Thank you so much. Sandra says 16 is pretty. 16 is pretty, right? And remember, this kind of stuff can all be, if you wanted to sew it into the felt, you could do things with these. Like these are good kind of things to play around with. And you could sew them into the felt and line the felt, make borders around the felt. So if you got some of the felt from earlier, these would be nice. And I think it'd be a nice size for that. I don't know. I think so. All right, let me put these away. RRW20. $14, one last look at that color. It's 14. And we'll also move 16. One last look at 16. It's kind of a really, it is pretty. It's a really bright kind of blue. And we'll move 17 and 18 over. 19 as well. 19 are these wooden beads. They're nice. There's nothing wrong with these. They're dyed wood. They're super duper light. So for those of you who like, I feel like light is the theme tonight. More than random, it's light. What is light? These are all super lightweight. Dyed wooden beads in yellow. And you get that whole big bag. That's a big bag. I don't know what size that bag is. We don't even normally buy bags that size. This is about 6 by 3.5 inch bag, 6 by 3. And then we have also our RRW20. And we have the wooden beads in this kind of red and pink color. Peachy red, pinky red color. Large hole wooden beads. RRW19 and RRW20. What do you think of those? You like them? I don't know. But they're random. They're very random. They're randomly in one of our drawers. Okay, putting the pink away in case you missed that. There are 2 of these still left. RRW17. Norma says you could use the seed beads and the wooden beads and make beaded beads. Yes, you could. Absolutely could. And it'd be a very cheap date because you get a lot of these and a lot of these and a lot of these. You just have to put in the work. You just got to put in the work for making those. And RRW18, we've got 1 of these left. 1 of these left. $8. Hello, Anne. Thank you for joining us, Anne. You're missing some interesting things. We've done felt today. We've shown how to do the crocodile on the felt. We've done some bags of random shell today. We've done lots and lots of vintage seed bead hanks, entire hanks in various colors. And now we have wooden beads, entire bags of these wooden beads, $6 a bag in these 2 colors. I've got 2 colors, that's it. $6 a bag only. It's very random today. I went through bins and drawers that I don't normally go through ever. So, you know, now we're going to go through some sari silk. And the sari silk is usually pretty, it's a pretty good seller, usually. We normally sell it for $6 in the store. I'm going to drop them down to $5.50 for you all. I honestly can't tell you how many of each we have. I have a bin of it here. And some of these colors I have 1, and some of these colors I may have 10. And I will have to look as people claim them tonight to find them, if you claim them. I don't know if anybody's going to claim them. But just so you know, if you like the sari silk, you're getting a deal on it. I forget. Let me look. Let me do a length check on these. I think we do 6 feet on these. It's been a while. Sari silk is getting harder and harder to get in the quality we used to get. So there's that. Let's see, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's about 8 feet. So, hey, 8 feet? I didn't know we did 8 feet, but I guess we did. So there we go. Let me wrap this back up. Do its little bundle that we do. So 8 feet approximately of sari silk for $5.50. And this is the first color / pattern. Sari silk is a rough edged. It's cut from saris. That's why it's called sari silk. And this is a beautiful green, RRW 21. We just sold one of the 20s. Thank you so much. Like I said, I have more of these each. If you want more than one, I just don't know how many. I have to go through the drawer. There's at least 2 of each. I know that. Anne says you could do some cool Miriam Haskell inspired designs with the wooden beads. Did I say that? If I said that, sorry. But yes, you absolutely could. Absolutely could. Sandra says, good news. My client just approved the cost proposal. So excited to get started. That's awesome. Congratulations. Vicky says, congrats too. Sandra says, William, I just got my package today. Can't wait to open it. Oh, good. I'm glad packages are arriving. There's a lot of them out there working their way out to people. Norma says, Heather Powers sewed seed beads on the edges of sari silk on the TGBE. Oh, yeah? Yeah, Andrew has done that a lot of times. He kumihimos these. So he takes the sari silk, then kumihimos it, and then sews seed beads onto the cords that he makes. That's one of the ways that he uses the sari silk and seed beads. But yes, you could also just sew it onto the edge. The edges are, you have to be careful what you're doing probably if you're just using a single edge, because some of these are, you know, you'd have to place that carefully, I will say. The next sari silk color is this one. This kind of apricot orange. And so I love the look of seed beads sewn on. I'm not sure I'd have the patience. I don't, but Andrew does, and they look beautiful. And so I got my AG package too today. Nice. And like I said, there are a lot of them out there heading out to people. And I've got more and more to come. Working on more. Thank you all for all of your support. We appreciate it so, so much. Trying to get, like I said, we did the big reset, which really did help me, but didn't get me as far as I wanted to, but I'm starting to feel like I'm getting further along. except this weekend I was so busy I got behind now on my pre-sorting and packing because I was busy at the store and I wasn't there on Saturday when I was home with Andrew. And I didn't want to take everything home because everything would definitely have a lot more cat hair on it if I tried to pack it there. So, and then I'm going to be at Touchstone tomorrow, but I'm working on everything. Definitely working on it for you all. Don't want you thinking we don't appreciate it. All of your support. This is the next Sari Silk color, RRW23. And it says, oh, Anne, I had lots of fun unpacking my package on Saturday. Nice. And it says, no extra charge for the cat hair. I know, right? It's crazy how it's free. We just include that for free for y'all. I like this Sari Silk because this is a thicker, it's a thicker one. And the edges are kind of sewn on this one already. There you go. That orange is luscious, says Vicky. Yes, they are. They are. And these are very, I love Sari Silk because it's a great way. I love using big chain with it. And this is kind of, here, I'll show you what I mean. Like when you take big chain, and this is what I always show people. Let me pull this apart. And then you like weave this through the chain. It's a great way to decorate your chain without having to do too much. But it adds a little something, because sometimes you don't, like I don't technically like, especially big chain, it's too sometimes flashy for me. Like it's just too much. But when you do something like this, and it also softens it on the neck, if you're wearing it on the neck, or if you're making it into a bracelet, it's just a nice way to, you know, kind of decorate your chain without having to do too much work. I'm not about that fiddly little work. I don't have the patience for it. But when you can do something like that, it's really simple. You just tie it to the end of the chains then, and it, like I said, it not only softens it around your neck, but it also softens it visually. So physically and visually, the Sari Silk can soften the big chain. And I sometimes think big chain can be a little bit much. I'm not a fan of using it too much, but when I do stuff like that, it makes it much more bearable for me. Because some customers want to use big chain, but you know, I usually I talk them into decorating it a little bit. Yeah, it says those colors would be pretty with the felt from earlier, right? Norma got a package on Saturday too. Nice. And it says the AG packages are so fun. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoy them. Yeah, these are all, like, I think I picked some nice colors. So far, nobody wants any of these. So, I guess, I don't know. This is kind of a, maybe I'm not going to do really random much anymore because my really random is kind of falling apart. It's not quite what I had thought maybe we'd do. It's fun though. I have fun pulling stuff today. It's something different. You know, this is a very different show for those who normally watch us, so that's why I wanted to mix it up a little bit, because it can get, I know, it can get a little tedious sometimes, right? These have these little, it's this kind of, I don't know, bronzy color, beigey color, I don't know what color you call that, peachy color. It's like in between all of those, and it has these little leaf prints on them. So we were trying to use these little card things for them, and then we realized they just work a lot better in a bundle. But for a while we were trying to put them on here so we could hang them nice, or it got messy then. They just bend up the cards. And the next one, RRW25. is that little leafy pattern. But this time, let me see if I can stretch that so y'all can see it. There it is. Look how wide those are too when you stretch them out. That's the width of one of the strands when it's stretched out. Normally you don't see it stretched out. That's the green leafy pattern. Sari is challenging to store. Yes, it is. It's like people who are true fiber people, I sometimes wonder how y'all do it, because this stuff is not easy. We only have a little bit of fiber around, and it is definitely a challenge. All right, next up, RRW26. This is a slightly different leafy pattern in a different color green. Oops, I ran out of room. Let me put some back. It's this one. So this is the green. Let me move this all down. Okay, we're getting rid of this green. Nobody wanted that one. So we're going to put that back. Nobody wants the dark green. That's a beautiful green. Beautiful green to go really well with gold. Working with gold stuff, gold chain, RRW21. Just saying. I'm also running out of room on my table. Let me try to make some room here. All right. Oops, we sold some. We sold a 25 and a 24. Let me move this down so I can fit these two ones in here. And there we go. Remember, I may have more of these, so even if I say it's claimed, feel free to send in, if you want, a request, because I have to check these after the show. I can't tell if they're sold out. Some of them, like I said, some of them I know we only have one of. The pattern ones are especially rare. So if you see a pattern one you like, get in on it faster, I would say. The really bright colors are also more rare. We've got a beautiful selection for autumn. Oh, just you wait. I have even more, especially for autumn colors. I have some deep reds coming. You're looking for stuff for autumn? We got it. Browns, reds. And I didn't even pick everything. This is this color, which is slightly different than all the others. It's kind of in between these two, but it's got a round pattern in it. And that's RRW27. And then I'm going to pull out some of these reds. And I don't have much of the sari silk up at the shop, so now that I found the bin of sari silk, I can take it back up to the shop. It's been hiding out here for quite some time. Susan's back. You were gone for a long time, Susan. You're gone for a long time. Hope everything's okay. RW24, 25, 26, 27. RW28. Because I know if I'm visiting with neighbors. Oh, good. We're doing sari silk now. We did seed beads, we did shells, we did felt. Now we're up to sari silk. The weird stuff tonight. I don't know how weird it is. It's random. It's random for us. We don't do this stuff a lot on the lives. Hopefully it's random enough for y'all since I talked about how random it was going to be. Look at this beautiful deep red. Kind of burgundy. Merlot, burgundy, what color do you call that? Sari silk, RRW 28. Normally, like I said, we sell these for $6 a strand. I can't do much of a discount on them, but I'm going down to $5.50 for you all. Want to go darker? There's an even darker red. Again, there's about the width of that strand. RRW 29, $5.50. That one you can barely see. Let me start moving some of these over. That one's so dark it's blending into the table. $25. Let's see here. Anne says, love the reds. Me too. I don't always get the reds. And remember, these are about 8 feet worth, generally. 8 feet worth of sari silk. Let's see here. RRW 30. Another red for y'all. I think. It is slightly different. I don't know if it's different enough for y'all to want that one too, but it is slightly different. It's definitely different from this one. These two are very similar, but this one's kind of like in between those two. And I think when you pull it out by the strand, it's even more different. So I don't know how many of each of these I have, but I've got at least one of each. And then this one is slightly different. Yeah, this one has really, really almost like woolly edges. And there's at least one of these. I don't think I have many of the woolly edge ones, but you can see it has a really, really woolly edge. And so there's one of those. All the reds slightly different. Really, they kind of go like this. Like this is the darkest, then a little bit lighter, then a little bit lighter, then this one should be over here and the lightest. So there are those. Okay, let me put some of these away. And then, well, let's just see. Let's see what happens. Yeah. I was gonna say I have more. I don't know if I should keep going. We might go over 40 lots tonight. I don't want to be out too late. Like I said, I have to get home and feed the cats and get to bed a little early so I can go down to Touchstone tomorrow early. And so sometimes when I open my package, it's a cavalcade of my thought process from lives. Oh, that's cool. I don't need it, but I don't remember I ordered it until I see it. Oh, good. I did get it. LOL. I bet. I bet. It probably is quite the experience. Okay. Let's move these over. And we'll shift from red just a little. Oops, I forgot the W in that. RRW. RRW. Two. We'll shift from the red into pink. Just a little bit of pink. At least one of each of these available. I do not know how many I have of some of these. Especially those two, because those are a little bit different. 30, at least one of 30 is sold. I don't know if I have more or not. If you'd like to try it, keep sending the numbers in, and I will take a look for you. Here's one of these thicker ones. We had a green one earlier, and this one's blue or teal color. Kind of matches my shirt a little bit close. And this is one of those stitched edge ones. Let's see. Kimberly says, I feel the same, and my shipments are always a surprise. I like that. Surprise and delight, hopefully. And boy, I've pulled a lot of sari silk. This is very much surprise and delight. Good. Good. Here's a gray, a nice neutral gray. We sold some 32 and 33. Thank you. And this is a darker gray, I think, because I have a lighter gray also coming up. But I gotta make room. Gotta make room. This one here too. The woolly one. The woolly one. No one grabbed the woolly one. Okay. Put these down. This is the lighter gray. 34 and 35. Okay, let's see here. I don't think I have many of this next one. I don't even remember seeing this color, so that's a surprise. It's a very pale pink, like a rose, pale rose. These are all, like this one, take that one out. These are all very, if I pull that one away, these are all really a pretty, I love gray and pink together. And this is really pretty with the grays. That'd be really pretty Kumihimo together. And Kumihimo, if you've never done it, it's even something that I kind of enjoy doing, and I don't like that. I don't like, seed beading is hard for me, sorting beads, that kind of thing, like that is hard. But Kumihimo I actually find enjoyable. So it might be something you want to try if you're like me and you've never tried it before. And then you can decorate them however you want, or just Kumihimo them together and be done. Make some strands of them and use them that way. Okay, I think this is the last one I'm going to do of these. Is this one. Kind of a yellow RRW 37. And by the way, just so you can see, like, would that not be pretty together? Like, they match really well. Maybe it's just too much. It might be too coordinating. But if you wanted to do something with these beads and then like knot in between them to make a yellow strand, the sari silk could work. So RRW19 is $6 for the whole bag of the wood. And then you could get this color sari silk and put them together and make a yellow strand, like pearl knotting, but wood bead knotting. Okay. I don't know. Now I have random things and I don't know what to show you all next that you might. Like there's almost too much to oh, well, okay, one more. I just found one more sari strand in there that popped out. And it's brown, and I think it's a really nice color that some of y'all might like. It's like a chocolate brown, and it's a really good neutral to use. Is this chocolate brown, which also looks really lovely with 36, by the way. And I bet would look really nice if you got a 32. I love that together too. This is all kind of vibing. I don't know. I kind of like it. Okay. Now, what comes next? Boy, I had more lots in here than I thought. Boy, random. I got a strand of gemstones. RRW39. Let's see. This is RRW39. It is a strand of dumortierite. And they are about 7.5 millimeter. They're a vintage strand. 7.5 millimeter blue dumortierite beads. Was 18. I had it. Take it down to 16. Normally, I mean, I'm just estimating at this point. I'd sell it for about 18 in the store. I'll give it to y'all for 16. One strand available. Dumortierite. I know some of you really like. I love dumortierite. I love the blue Dumortierite. I love the pink purple Dumortierite, also called Nevada Rose. Really pretty stones, nice quality, nice color in there. One strand available, $16, RRW 39. Running out of room, running out of room. Just sold 39. Thank you so much. Okay. So tomorrow, as I was saying, I'm going down to Touchstone to help set up an exhibition. Let me take this away because that's sold. And so I don't know when the live will be. I'm leaving too early to do the live earlier in the day, and I don't know when I'll get back. So I will try and post when I have an idea of when that might be, if we even have a live. If it gets too late, I will just cancel the live for tomorrow. And on Wednesday, I will probably have an afternoon live, since I will be going to my pottery class Wednesday evening. And I've found that it's easier for me to go to my pottery if I don't have to rush back to do the live. So Wednesday will be an afternoon live. We have 4 of these. They were 12. I'll do them for 10 each. I don't know if we ever released these. If Andrew did them for a kit, I can't remember. But this is his pendant. You Are Beautiful. I have a feeling they were done for if they were done for a mystery box or if they were done for, I can't remember. But we never put these available. I don't think these ever went available for sale individually. So I've got 4 of them. Normally this size is $12 nowadays. I'll do them for y'all for 10 if you want them. And they were done this year. They're signed and dated on the back. You Are Beautiful. Maybe some of you all remember these more than I do. And why? Why? But I think they were a kit or something. Or they were part of a something. I don't know. But there are only 4 of them. And I know we had more, so they went somewhere. And there are 4 still available. So I'm gonna sell them that way. You Are Beautiful. Polymer clay pendants by Andrew. And says, I don't remember them. I like it. Yeah, I'm hoping that it's okay that I'm selling them again, because I just found these laying around randomly in a bag, and I know there was something about them that we used them for something. Norma says, I just saw mine last week, but I don't remember what kit it was. Yeah, I think they only went into a kit. I don't think they were ever available separately. So we have a few, and there's no point in not using them, right? So now you get the chance to have them without the kit. RRW 40, $12 down to 10. Only, well, now 3 of them available. Somebody grabbed one. Thank you so much. Susie says, Pittsburgh has cooling stations, but I don't believe there are any nearer to us. I didn't know they had that. Anna says, are they polymer? Yes, these are polymer clay. Polymer clay, and they are generally 35 millimeters, which I think is that an inch and a half? An inch and a quarter. Generally an inch and a quarter. And they're Andrew Thornton's polymer. They're Andrew's. And they have a beautiful kind of bronzy finish. I'll show you them all. There they are. Super lightweight. Andrew makes his nice and thin. Polymer clay, $10 each. 4 of them available. RRW40. And I have more stuff. Anybody, I can keep going, but I have like leather. We have some of this pre-cut leather if you're interested in that, or I can maybe do that tomorrow. Some leather pieces. And I have some more leather. I have some of these little, I don't know if anybody's interested in like these little beads. I think these are, they're the 2-hole beads, little crystals inside. I have those, randomly found those. I had some bead caps I randomly found. Some lampwork stuff. Maybe we'll just keep going with some random stuff tomorrow. How about that? Do some more randomness tomorrow. And we'll let you all go for the night tonight. That'll get me out of here a little bit early and get me home. All right. Well, thank you all for hanging out with me today so far. Like I said, I don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. I will try and let you all know as soon as I can. Tomorrow, when I kind of figure out when I might be coming back home from Touchstone, they close at 5, so I'm assuming I should be back in time for a live at 7:30, but depends if we have to stay late to keep working on anything. I have no idea. I have no idea what's going to happen. I have no idea how many pieces of artwork there are, so we'll see. But thank you all for hanging out with me. Thank you for anyone who grabbed anything. Thank you for everyone who shared this. And please, please do share it with your friends. Let people know we exist in the world. We are here. We have lots of good supplies, not only for beading, but also crafting. Like a lot of this stuff tonight, the felt, the sari silk, the wooden beads, even the seed beads, the shells, all of that. And that was kind of my theme for the random, was that I wanted it to be something that you used not only in beading, but also in other crafting. So lots of different things to be able to use for other craft genres. And so please feel free to share this with your crafty friends who may not be beady friends, because they might like what we've got this time. All right. Thank you all so much. Have an amazing evening. Thank you for hanging out and keeping me company. See you tomorrow, maybe. All right. Bye, everybody.